All right, Algebra 1B students, welcome to part 1 of lesson 8.2. We're going to talk about multiplying some polynomials tonight. And we're going to start by just doing a quick review of the distributive property. All right, so I've got a few warm-up problems here. Why don't you go ahead and take a couple minutes, pause the video, try these 4 warm-up problems here, and then we'll come back and I'll go over them and we'll see where we're at. So pause the video, take a look at those 4 problems, make sure that you know how to do the distributive property. All right, number 1, if I use my distributive property, I need to multiply 3 times both pieces that are inside of the parentheses. Right? 3 times 4x, which should give me 12x, and 3 times plus 3, which should give me plus 9. That's number 1. Number 2 is very similar, except my second number has this minus sign attached to it. So I'm still going to do 2 times 2x, which gives me 4x. And then I'll do 2 times minus 4, which gives me a minus 8. 4x minus 8. Number 3 is different because I now have a negative 1 out front. So I'm going to do negative 1 times 3x. Negative 1 times 3 gives me negative 3x. And negative 1 times by 2 is negative 2. So negative 3x minus 2. Now the fourth one is the one that we are really concerned with today. So the fourth one here has a 2 and an x in front of those parentheses. So when we do the distributive property, we're going to take that entire monomial, 2x, and multiply it into both pieces within the parentheses there. So 2x times by 3x. Well, 2 times 3 is 6, and hopefully we know that when we do x times by x, that is x squared. So this is 6x squared. And then 2x times by 2, I'm going to have plus 4x. So 6x squared plus 4x. That's what I have when I do my distributive property in number 4. If you have questions about any of those, please make a note to ask me in class tomorrow. And you may have to rewatch the next part because what we are doing today is very, very much like the distributive property. The main difference is that what we have out front is going to be a rather complicated monomial. In this case, negative x to the third power. And we are going to have 3 pieces inside of the parentheses. So we're going to be multiplying a monomial, meaning 1 piece, by a trinomial, meaning 3 pieces. Okay? Now it's exactly the same as what we did in our warm-up, except that now I need to multiply this piece in front of my parentheses by all 3 things in the parentheses. Okay? Times by everything in the parentheses. And when we do this multiplication, we're going to need to use some of those exponent rules that we have still from chapter 7. For example, negative x to the third times 9x to the fourth. Well, I know that the negative 1 that's right there times by 9 should give me a negative 9. And then x to the third times x to the fourth, that's the same base number with different exponents. So same base, different exponents. When we multiply those, we add the exponents, 3 plus 4. Okay. So that's going to give me negative 9x to the 7th power. Similar idea with my second piece. I have negative, still negative 1x to the third. Now I'm timesing by a negative 2x to the third. You can see that right here, negative 2x to the third. Negative 1 times by a negative 2, I can put these numbers together first. Negative 1 times negative 2 is 2. And just like in my first piece, I have x to the third times x to the third. same base, and in this case actually the same exponent, but I'm still just going to add those two exponents together. X to the 3 plus 3. Hopefully we know that that is 6. All right. One more time, I'm going to do my last bit of the distributive property there. Negative x to the third times positive 7. Now there, we don't have any x's attached to the 7. So all we have to do is multiply this negative 1 times 7. Negative 1 times 7 is negative 7. X to the third times by, well, nothing is just x to the third. So I have there negative 7x to the third. So to finalize this answer, when we do the distributive property here, we have simplified this down to negative 9x to the 7th plus 2x to the 6th minus 7x to the third. So this guy right here is our simplified version. That's just the distributive property that's a little bit more complicated and has 3 pieces in the parentheses instead of just 2. All right? Your job, and your only job, is to complete this problem. Check it, got it, number 1, on the bottom of page 492. It says, what is the simpler form of 5n times parentheses 3n to the third minus n squared plus 8? Go ahead and solve that one through the distributive property. Simplify that expression down so that there are no more parentheses. Using your exponent rules, please. And once you've got that done, you are ready for your practice problem set. Now, I will say in your practice problem set, I'm eliminating a few of the problems. I will tell you this tomorrow as well. But I'm eliminating 15, 17, and 19 from your practice problem set. So take a look at this. Got it, number 1, bottom of page 492. Once you've got that, you are ready for tomorrow. That's all I have. Have a great night.